Morning, YouTube. This is Fragments of Memory, also known as your friendly neighborhood armchair philosopher. Now, I'm responding to a video from a YouTuber by the name of Pure Energy, and that is energy with an I, not an E. And she did a video called The Curse of the Strong Black Woman. Now, in the video, she says she often would talk about the dynamics, the relational dynamics between black men and black women. However, in her case, she said she was going to stop doing that simply because she got a lot of pushback from black men. And she even is quick to acknowledge the problems between black men and black women and the so-called black community collective amalgam. The problems are vast, but it seems the black men are not offering a lot of solutions. Now, she relates a story about a friend of hers, and this friend of hers via Facebook, usually he makes some negative comments regarding black women and he seems to be negative in general, according to her. But he did do this post where he was basically saying it's time for black men to protect black women and children and be responsible to their communities and come back home. Now, as you know with Facebook, when you post a status, people put their commentary to your status or their response to your status below it. And in this case, she was saying that one commenter posted, single black women don't want black men's help. And her question is, who said this? Who made the rule that single black women don't want fathers for their children or for a man to be a man? And there are single black women, for whatever reason, they've become single black mothers, whether it's through lying down with Pookie and Ray Ray, the so-called street thug, or whether it was through the death of the spouse, or whether it was through divorce, or whether it was just a one-night stand, whatever the case might be. She asked the question, black women just ran him off, and she, being a single mother, was speaking on how she had to do a lot of the things by herself. Oh yeah, another thing she pointed out was we're always talking about how the black woman is not docile or submissive, where the black woman always seems to be more aggressive, a little bit more combative, a little bit more argumentative. Now, what she was saying is black women don't have the luxury of being the sweet submissive with their black children. She says, have you met black children? She goes on to say how black children are different, and they have different obstacles than other children, other groups, other ethnic groups, other races of children. They have a different psychology. They have a different, sometimes economic stance. And she was saying you cannot raise black children like other races do. And as an aside, I've observed this when I'm out in, maybe a store. Maybe I'm buying a bottle of milk at the grocery store. Maybe I just happen to pop into Walmart to grab something, or Walgreens or wherever. And you'll see the little black child act out, and then you see that single black mom just get real aggressive, get all sorts of bass in her voice, like, come on, little boy, come on. Don't make me, boy, I will, so I see that and I'd be like, dang, I feel sorry for the kid. And one of the things that she keeps coming up with is black women have had to be strong. And she discusses the challenges of being a single mother, paying bills, holding down the fort, keeping it together. And she was just saying how black women can't win for losing in that sense, where she's a single mom, but she feels like black women get the scrutiny, get the blame, get the derision heaped upon them. And she says that, hey, she acknowledges that black men and black women can't be both, black women can't be both mom and dad, though you have to try to be that. Now, and she says, is this an indictment on a black man's ego? Or is this attacking a black man's ego when a black woman says, I got to do it all by myself? Now, in some cases, I would say this. Maybe your show of strength is an indictment of my weakness. Now, why is the black woman criticized for being too strong? I think that many people mistake aggression as being a strong thing. In some cases, yes. I think that when the black woman has had to be strong and deal with the issues that she deals with being a single black mother, and dealing with the young children that she's produced. Yeah, I get it. I get it that you might have to be a little more stone faced, a little bit more hardcore, quote unquote. But I think where the point of contention with a lot of brothers is, because you're a parent 24/7, that hardcore stone cold exterior never goes away. So even in something as minor as a disagreement, that disagreement can go all the way left, as the people say nowadays, because the sister might pop off at the brother and the brother be like, hold up, sister, back up. Or, speaking for myself, I remember when I was a young man and we got growing up, all I heard was niggas ain't shit, niggas ain't shit. Excuse my language. Now, my mother didn't say that to me, but that seemed to be the attitude of a lot of women, just the nigga ain't shit mentality. And of course, I think that's where that's where the impetus for a lot of that criticism comes from, is just we hear the rhetoric of nigga ain't, that thing. So we hear that and it's like, well, wow. Well, dag. There's also this, and there is a perception of single moms in other cultures versus the black woman, according to her. Those cultures who you have mentioned, though, you mentioned a lot of other cultures, they have intact structures and communities. They have a whole intact economy, where when you're talking about black people, you have to understand that we have a different experience in the United States, where you as that woman have to, quote unquote, be strong because I guess we are out of the picture. I get that. Now, do I think it's entirely a challenge to black men and black manhood when you say, oh, I'm the strong woman that's holding it down? No, I don't think it completely is. Now, I'm sure there's some guys that feel some kind of way, but generally speaking, she said other races don't stigmatize their single motherhood. I disagree with that respectfully, of course, but I'm going to go back. But before I do that, I'm going to go back to, I don't think it's a challenge. I just think that sometimes some ladies, some women can be their own hype machine, where we keep big upping. She doing it by herself. She doing it by herself. So of course, nobody likes braggadocio. Even when we do it, we don't like it, We don't like it in other people. Now, other races don't stigmatize their single mothers. Not true. Many races do. It's just that they have other, for lack of a better term, patriarchal structures or economic structures and landscapes that they have intact, where women don't dare cross that line. Where we're a community that has been completely and utterly broken. Now, I will agree that blaming the other side, whether male versus female, blaming the other side is not going to get us anywhere. Blame is just going to create more anger, more resentment, and then nobody's going to want to do anything for you. But I want to point out that, yes, I agree with you that, yes, there are outside forces and influences that attack us, that come at us from all sorts, all sides, angles, lines, whatever. So from the left to the right, to the bottom, to the top, we got a lot of stuff coming at us because we are in a system that we ultimately that doesn't necessarily benefit black people collectively. And you say that black people don't want solutions. Well, I'll agree with you. There was once a YouTuber many years ago I used to interact with, named Black Energy News, and what she was pointing out was that black people, we don't want solutions because solution means I got to go do something. And when I do something, that means it's going to be a pain in the butt, to do it. Which means I got to get up on my feet. I got to get up off my behind and go do something. And she points out that if solutions were to come from an outside source, black people, black men would accept it before we accept our own. And again, I agree wholeheartedly with that. I think that we have a white man's ice is colder mentality. We have that as Jesus put it in the Bible, that a prophet is not without honor in his own except in his own home and amongst his own kin in his own country. Now, I think you get a lot of pushback from the brothers because I think we have a whole culture within the black community that says the black woman screams, "I can do bad by my own self." And you have the baby mama anthem by Fantasia, where now it's a source of pride and strength to be a baby mama. And sometimes I think that when it comes to the dynamic and the energy between single parents, though I don't have any children, I've just observed guys I know. I've observed guys I know that basically are fathers who they have children with women, and the thing that they deal with the most is the woman may undermine the father before the children. Or there's a power play and the child is used as leverage against the other parent. And, and the rhetoric of the strong black woman, as it has been used against black men, it can also be used against black women. I just want to put that out there. And again, I'm not here to criticize you. I think you make a lot of valid points. However, you have to understand that on the flip side of that, I see brothers who really do want to be there for their children, but they have to not only contend with the ire of the black woman that he's dealing with, he has to deal with the legal system and the court system, which can do great harm to him as well. So that's just something I would like you to consider. I'm not saying you're a bad person for being a single mother. I'm not saying that if you have to raise your kids by yourself, you got to do that by any means necessary. However, on the flip side, we're too quick to try to throw each other up under the bus. That's all I'm saying. Well, that's my 2 cents. What do you think? Peace.